Greetings, everyone. We hope you are okay wherever you are. We are discussing the Zimbabwe exemption permits, the diaspora vote, because the majority of the people that follow this YouTube channel are in the diaspora, that is to say, Zimbabweans. If you have questions on those, please write in the comment section so that we see if it is possible to assist you. But we also want to hear your views um, on these issues that we are discussing. Um, I'd asked my Facebook friends to write one question each, and Comrade Sipongulube says, "Where is Liverpool playing next season? Are they playing on Thursday or Friday?" Well, one trophy that Klopp has not won is the Europa League. So it is good that Liverpool is playing Europa, so that it becomes the last trophy or the other trophy that he lifts, because he's never lifted it. You will know that in 2016, if my memory serves me well, as political parties and civil society, we did sign an agreement where we agreed that we're going to pursue the diaspora vote so that the Zimbabweans that are in the diaspora participate in the electoral process. The Minister of Finance in Zimbabwe, Professor Mthuli Ncube, always talks about the remittances that are coming from the diaspora. It is the diaspora that also sustain the Zimbabwean economy. One needs to be on N1 around Polokwane every month end and see the goods that are transported to Zimbabwe, or at least every weekend, to see the goods that are purchased in South Africa, transported to Zimbabwe. This covers groceries, building material, and other goods that are needed in Zimbabwe. In effect, South African capital is benefiting from the Zimbabwean workers that purchase products, and Zimbabwe at the same time is gaining because people in the diaspora sustain the Zimbabwean economy. But the diaspora vote remains elusive. Zimbabweans in the diaspora have to travel to cast their votes in Zimbabwe. Elections are happening on the 23rd of August 2023, but there is no diaspora vote. So when we signed the agreement as civil society and the political parties in 2016 to campaign for a diaspora vote, we ended up going to court as led by Advocate Gabriel Shumba, who filed with the other lawyers in the Supreme Court. I think it was High Court in Harare, advocating for the diaspora vote. Unfortunately, the High Court ruled against us, but in its ruling, it said that the Constitution of Zimbabwe does not give provision for a diaspora vote. It called on Parliament to amend the constitution so that those in the diaspora can participate in the electoral process. Unfortunately, in the last 5 years, since 2018, political parties represented in parliament didn't show any appetite with respect to the diaspora vote. They just started to talk about it in the last few days because they then realized that indeed the diaspora vote is needed. It was part of course, their campaigning tool. So currently, the people in the diaspora have to travel to Zimbabwe to cast their votes. We are told that because the proclamation date has been done. Once the proclamation date is done, within 48 hours, the voters' roll is closed, meaning there is no any other person that can then register to vote after the proclamation. It only stays you can only register within the 48 hours. Thereafter, you will not be able to register to vote. So if you missed out in registration or to register to vote, it means you will not vote. But if you are registered as a voter, you are in the diaspora, you need to travel back to Zimbabwe to vote. We have seen some people that are registered to vote who in the last few weeks or few months have been traveling to overseas, mainly in the UK. It's becoming clearer that a person who left Zimbabwe or South Africa of Zimbabwean origin last year in 2022, from 2021, 2022, and then 2023, these individuals would not be able to go and cast their votes in Zimbabwe because they will not be able due to the to finances. So it's a loss of those votes. Of course, we do not know who they were going to vote for, but they will then not participate in the electoral process. Comrade Colin Ndebele writes, he says, do you think that revolution against ZANU will ever happen in Zimbabwe? And a revolution, by its very nature, is a new order. You are removing the old order and bringing a new order, particularly on the economic front. So the revolution that we need in Zimbabwe is not necessarily removing ZANU-PF, because you might remove ZANU-PF whether through an electoral process or otherwise. But if the economic fundamentals do not change, if the party that is going to form government is going to continue on the economic policies as pursued by ZANU-PF, you will not have had any revolution. So what will be accurate in terms of your question, Comrade Colin Ndebele, should talk, your question should speak to whether there's going to be a new economic order in Zimbabwe. You will know that as the Zimbabwe Communist Party, we argue for the return to national planning, build a national democratic economy before we transit to the next stage of human development. It's a similar question asked by Comrade Ndlelezi Ncube, though he asks different. He writes, nxa kungenzeka idliwe iZANU-PF yabo beyale ukuphuma embusweni kuyothiwani. So if ZANU-PF loses elections and it refuses to go, I'm not sure if parties that are contesting will be able to confront it and force it out. Our experience over the years says that if they refuse to hand over power, that's it. So there's nothing that will be done. Remember that is Zimbabwe. It's a deep state. We have defined this previously, that this state is militaristic. A deep state, by the way, it's a state whereby the unelected officials run the affairs of the state. In this case, in Zimbabwe, it is the military that runs the affairs of the state in Zimbabwe. And Comrade Wilbert Bambe Nongo Hema says, do you think there's any commitment by these former liberation war movements like ZANU-PF to ever cede power through the ballot box? We saw UNIP, though it was different circumstances, but we saw UNIP handing over power in 1991. But of course, like I'm saying, it was under different, possible different circumstances and under different conditions. But we always say that if people register in their numbers, people commit to vote against the ZANU-PF, we think it is possible. Then there are those that are thinking that because the extension was for that is for ZEP holders, is now 31st December 2023. Others think that maybe the application for waivers is now, it will close on the 30th. No, it will not close on the 30th. So our advice is that people should continue to apply for waivers. What we have said is that if you know that your passport is going to expire in 2023, you are better off applying for a new passport, because it doesn't help to get your passport in February in 20, I mean, your visa gets granted in February 2024, while your passport, which you used to apply, would have expired in November 2023. Now you have to start the process again, because you have to apply to change the permit to the new passport. So it's better that you should be applying for a new passport, so that you don't run into problems. We read the comments, particularly on YouTube. Particularly, a lot of people have written showing appreciation for the extension of the grace period to the 31st of August. We note your comments. We appreciate yourselves for being patient. We know that others are still waiting for the court outcome. Yes, we are waiting for the court outcome to know what the courts are going to decide in terms of the issues that were placed before it. So we hope that the judgment will be delivered soon. There is a positive comment that has been written here. We always complain. In the past few days, we've been complaining about the situation at the VFS. I must point out that we are getting cooperation from the management at VFS. When we raise issues, they try their level best to respond. Um, I know that in Rivonia we are having serious problems, but we have forwarded some information to them with respect to security guards that are harassing people in Rivonia, asking for bribe, working with some people who are said of Nigerian origin. I'm not sure about that, but this is what we get told. We have been forwarding this information to the management of VFS, so that people can be assisted, and so that the security officers that are deployed in VFS offices do not harass holders of Zimbabwe exemption permits when they go and submit. So let me read what Comrade D. King wrote. He says, "I'm happy for the decision that the minister had made. I was in Brooklyn, Pretoria yesterday. That was on Thursday. No, that was on Friday. Submitting my waiver documents. I'm happy to say that they are working tirelessly. They are fast. My appointment time was 10:45 a.m., but I was served by 9:20 a.m. Big up to Brooklyn VFS." So we really appreciate to be getting these positive comments. Today we're trying to get clarity on what I'm told is an overflow booking. I wasn't aware of this, but it was brought to my attention that if they are booking 50 people and you are 51, your name then does not appear. So we are making a follow up with the management of VFS, so that these issues are addressed. The Comrade Zenzo Masungu, voting is on the 23rd of August 2023. I'm surprised in Masungu that you do not know the date. I'm not sure if you are registered, but if you are registered, you are supposed to be in Zimbabwe on the 23rd to cast your vote. Thanks, Comrade Melus Tole, Comrade Stanford Mlilo, you write and delete. It's fine. Thanks to all of you that have joined. It's getting cold in Johannesburg. That's why I'm wearing this jacket. It's raining, and we hope temperatures will be low tomorrow. And I know that people are still discussing whether it was an earthquake or whether it was a tremor. But thanks that we are all safe. Otherwise, please have a good evening. Please like this video, circulate to your contacts, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Goodbye.